Hello, artists, and welcome to the Artist Bootcamp. Today is a great day to study. And today, what we're going to study is shapes, heads and hands, mannequin, anatomy, sculpture, and gesture on this fine February 15th. Shapes warm up. Warming up with shapes. Let's do a red. New layer. And the B for the brush tool. And let's go. This is what we do every day. Trying to put some focus into it, which is oh my goodness. Okay. Trying to focus. I don't want to focus too hard. You just want to focus just enough. Because, when you're drawing, a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of things are running through your mind as you draw. Sometimes it feels like static, right? But you're making all of these little decisions. And those little decisions make for great art, right? Micro decisions, placement, stroke, line weights, variations, compositions, body placement, shadows, color. There's so much going on in art. All right, shapes, 3D shapes, new layer, go past that layer. And let's make this a pinkish. Let's see what this looks like. Cubes. Cubes. But yes, there's so many decisions because there feels like infinite possibilities. And you have to select one that matches you, your art style, how you draw, what do you think about? All of that will go into your art. Okay. Cylinders. Trying to focus a little bit more. That was hideous. Okay. Shoom. If sound effects help, do those. Like slish, slash, swish, slish, slash, swish, slish, slash, swish, boom, boom, bang, ping, pang, pong. I don't know. In the studio, I sometimes talk to myself. When it's just me there, I'm just having a conversation. Where to put lines, what color should things be? I'll make expressions that I want to draw. But that was shapes for today. So now it's time for head and hands. So again, we'll start with the skeleton. This is Horatio, my skull. Horatio is looking off to my right. So my right, but screen left. So on this layer, hit the V is the move tool in Photoshop, but you can use whatever program you wish as long as you know your keyboard shortcuts. V, 40% opacity, which fades it back. Make a new layer, and now we can draw on top. The B for the brush tool, and so we have the cranium. All this. All right. Housing the skull. And we have the eyebrow ridge that comes out a little bit, comes back in, goes into the cheek bones, which come in and hook up to your upper teeth. And then we have the lower teeth, which hook up, are attached to the mandible, which are held to your skull by some very strong muscles, which help you to chew. So we have the hairline would be somewhere up here. This is the eye line. Right here. The bottom of the nasal cavity is somewhere where your nose would be. Your teeth is where the mouth would be. Right. So your ears are between your eye line and the bottom of your nose, and they sit behind the mandible. Right. So they'd be somewhere around here. Now there are variances in human beings. Some people have, like my ears stick out a bit more, but some people have slightly pointed ears. Some they have larger lobes, but there's a lot of variation in human beings. You have cheekbone. The eye socket and the eyebrow ridge is here, wrapping around my skull. And your nasal cavity comes out a bit when seen 3/4 view off to the screen left. Screen left, my actual right. Let's do the side plane. Side plane comes down around the eye socket. Right, it comes around your cheekbone and tucks down into your chin. Right. So if the light is here, this would be lit, and this less so. And the back would be even darker still. And here I am, rock you like a hurricane, looking up, and to my right, screen left. Right, up, screen left, in 3/4 profile. V4 for 40% opacity. I forgot to turn off my skull layer. Let's do that. So we're on the face, new layer, and B for the brush tool. My cranium is all this back here. Right. Eyebrow ridge coming down to my cheekbone, protrudes out a little bit. And I used to have these huge chubby cheeks, but I still have. So you go around that into the chin. And the mandible, somewhere around here. My eye line, eyebrow ridge, nose, bottom of my nose, and my mouth. Let's do the side plane. Side plane coming around the orbital bone, around my cheekbone, and coming down and going into the chin. So again, light, if light was here, my face would be lit. My face would be lit. My side view would be in shadow, and the back would be heavily shadowed. So let's continue on. My head is more or less a circle, so things go around the space, going around. Again with the nose, it precedes in space. And approximately my eye line and my ear line. My nasal cavity is somewhere around here, but my nose slopes down, and we're seeing the under part of my nose. The lips. There's a shadow under my bottom lip. This is giant shade. Hairline. Back. Now, more or less, this is a 3/4 view. And I'm looking off up and to my right. Neck. But that is the head in a 3/4 view off to my right, screen left. Now let's go on to some hands. Woo. Okay, so now we have our mannequin and our skeleton with some muscles and the names of the muscles. But first, let's go to the mannequin and make a new layer. And then we shall be, and we'll draw on top of this guy, doing our normal, let's make it a dark greenish. So we have the circle, and then we make that an oval for his overall shape of his head. Overall shape for his head. We have the eye line, about the middle, eyebrow ridge, his nose line, his mouth line, and his ears are between the bottom of his nose and his eye line. He has a neck, of course. And let's make the box for the rib cage. Now he has more of his side plane showing. So we'll do that, have a indication for his body positioning. We've got his hips. Again, the side plane. His hips. We do the circles for his joints, circles for his shoulders, for his elbows, for his wrists, his knees, of course, and his ankles. And then we make cylinders to indicate his limbs. So we got the arm limbs. We have his thigh limbs, limbs, lower leg limbs. He has feet. He has a spine, just indicating where the spine is. And he has hands. Give that man a hand. Okay. Turn off the mannequin layer. And there is the mannequin's position. Now let's go to the skeleton and the muscles. Run down this real quick. Trapezius, shoulder, back of the shoulder. Deltoid, actual shoulder. Tricep on the back of the arm. We have the brachialis between the tricep and the bicep. Bicep, brachialis, tricep on the back. Brachioradialis goes from the bottom of the humerus outside, comes in towards the inside of the forearm. Pectoralis, clavicle, sternum, comes up and wraps into the humerus bone. We have the external obliques, which is side. We have the rectus abdominis, upper, lower. We have extensors and flexors in the forearms that help move your fingers. We have the gracilis that comes from your thigh, upper thigh, from the pelvic bone inside thigh. Under that is the adductor longus. Underneath that, we have the sartorius coming from the hip inwards across the thigh and going down to the knee. We have the vastus lateralis, which is on the side of your thigh. The rectus femoris, the main part, the center of your thigh. We have the patella, which is your kneecap. And from that, we have the patellar tendon coming down towards your ankle. Gastrocnemius, or the calf muscle, on the inside of your lower leg. Anterior tibialis, which is next to the patellar tendon. Anterior tibialis. The fibularis longus, or the peroneus, which is on the outside of your lower leg, and between the fibularis longus and the anterior tibialis are the extensor digitorum longus. And that are the muscles of the human being. So let's map this out on this mannequin. We'll change the color to this. And let's see, trapezius is here. On the back, it would make a diamond shape. The pectoralis, clavicle, sternum, comes up and wraps into the humerus bone. We have the deltoid, which is your shoulder. Your shoulder muscles. We have the tricep on the back of your upper arm. The brachialis is next to it, and the bicep. So brachialis is between the tricep and the bicep. We have the brachioradialis coming out and down towards the inside of your forearm. We have extensors. We have flexors, group of muscles that control your fingers. We have the external obliques. along the back, there's the latissimus dorsi, right underneath the trapezius. But external obliques, we have the rectus abdominis. Rectus abdominis. Upper or lower. Here's your belly button. Here's a center line. The hips. You have hips. And on the inside of your thigh is the gracilis. The gracilis. Under that is the adductor longus. But over that, and lower than that, is the sartorius that comes from the hip, wraps around the inside and into the inner knee. Right. Comes down, wraps. We have the rectus femoris, which is in the middle of your thigh. We have the vastus lateralis on the outside of your thigh. Right. We have the patella, the patellar tendon that comes from the patella down towards your ankle, patella tendon. We have the gastrocnemius, and that is your calf muscle on the inside of your lower leg. We have the anterior tibialis, which is next to the patellar tendon. Next to the patellar tendon, we have the fibularis longus on the outside of your lower leg. Outside. We have the extensor digitorum longus between the anterior tibialis and the fibularis longus. And that are your muscles. Move on to the statue. This is David from yesterday by Andrea del Verrocchio. Let's see if I got that right. Did I get that? Andrea del Verrocchio. Ha ha ha. I like that one. So beginning, we started with the classic Michelangelo's David. And then we moved on to, Donatello's David. We did Andrea del Verrocchio's David. And today, who's the last David? Where are you, David? Haha. One of my favorite artists, Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Awesome artist. During the Baroque, known for his sculptures have dynamism. They're doing something. And so this David is in mid. He's just putting the rock into the sling, and he's about to, whirl it over his head and then swoosh at Goliath. So this is in between Michelangelo's, which is, he isn't started the action yet, or the Donatello or Andrea version, that was after he killed Goliath. This is mid. He's in the process of doing it. So let's map this with some muscles. So V, let's see, 50%. Let's do 60. 60%. Go back to the layer. Push B for the brush tool. And so we have his head. his chin. We have his eye line, his brow line, nose line, and his ears are between the eye line and the nose line. We have the mouth line, his hairline, his neck, and this one he's in motion. So there's dynamics to his body. Right? Shoulders, his hips. So let's make the box. Oh, we have that. We'll make the box. And it's underneath this arm, but this is the side plane. Right. His hips. He's twisting in motion. And so circles for joints. Elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow. That back one can't be seen, but it's about here. Right? His wrist, wrist, knee, knee, ankle, ankle, and cylinders for his limbs. Cylinders, cylinders. Okay. He's got this flowing, what you call it, tunic, or I couldn't call it tunic because I don't know what this is. Handkerchief, scarf, I don't know. I think this is his armor, but I'm not sure why he's not wearing it. But who knows? Artistic choice, let's just say. Got the cylinders, he's got feet, of course. One foot is slightly off the ground. That is, well, hands, of course. He's got the rock ready. He's got the sling. And that is the David. Okay, let's do some muscles. Let's change the color again. So, trapezius. He's got the clavicle here. We have the deltoid. We have the bicep front. Brachialis would be somewhere here, and the tricep would be this. His brachioradialis is this. See that? And it wraps into his forearm, but we can't quite see it. We have extensors and flexors on the inside, and they control finger movements. Pectoralis, external obliques, rectus abdominis. Femoris is his leg, come on now. Rectus abdominis, belly button. The lower portion goes down here. We have the gracilis that we can't quite see, but it's inside. See through it, right? See through the figure. And then under that is the adductor longus. From the hip, coming inside and across his thigh is the sartorius. Inside, rubbing. And we have the vastus lateralis on the outside of his thigh. Outside of the thigh. And the rectus femoris. Rectus femoris. We have his patellar patellar tendon coming from the patella down towards his ankle. Towards his ankle. We have the gastrocnemius, his calf muscle. Calf. The anterior tibialis, which is right next to the patellar tendon on the outside of the lower leg. We have the fibularis longus, the peroneus, outside of the lower leg. And between the two, anterior tibialis and the fibularis longus, is the extensor digitorum longus. And those are the muscles. Turn it on. Turn it on. Nice. And that is The David by Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Excelente. It's gesture time. It's gesture time. This is what we did yesterday for Valentine's Day, where I went on a mad tangent. That was probably a bit much, but hey, I won't put you through that today. Today, athletics or sports. And sports are a great thing to draw from because they are the people at usually the top of their game at moving their bodies in unique and thrilling ways. Let's just name out some sports. Boxing, swimming, there's baseball, football, basketball, running, skiing. But yeah, they're all pretty dynamic. So for example, a boxer, even if you don't watch sports, you usually know some iconic poses. So for a boxer, they always do the fist up pose. Right. Like on a promo. A promotional flyer, they're usually somehow in this pose. So if you ever watch sports or even like ESPN, you can sit down with a pad of paper and a pencil and just, if you have the capability to freeze it, you can freeze it, do a little sketch from whatever they're talking about. But yeah. What else? If you're a gymnast and they do that final They got their legs. They stick the landing and their arms are up. Right? That's a classic one. And the judges all judge. And 8. I don't know how many judges there are, but so what else? There's the diving in the pool pose. If you're a swimmer, and we're just messing around without reference, but if you can find reference, feel free. But sometimes it's cool to draw first and then get the reference and see how far, if you're on and you can remember these things, or if things look almost totally different than what you were thinking. What else? There's a runner. Running's always cool, but they have that. If you're skiing, they try to do that aerodynamic. They have their arms tucked, and they got the pole, the ski poles behind them, and they're just swoosh. Baseball. Standing at the mound. You got the bat in hand. And they're just got the umpire behind him. You see they're calling out. All right. The ball's coming. I don't know why I'm thinking of the Looney Tunes. I'm thinking of a pitcher, right? And they do that. You know, their hats down. They got the ball and the glove, and they're just baseball is a good one to watch, I think, for so maybe yes. They always to me look strange when they're just about to whip that ball. I'm probably so far off on this pitch pose, but something like that. Anything that's a statue, like the Heisman, right? Isn't the Heisman something like arm out? And they're just bulldozing some unfortunate soul. Hmm. Basketball, I always think of somebody dribbling like between their legs. So or making a jump shot, right? We're just getting out ideas. You can shoot it. Is there a golf pose? I don't watch much golf. But they also have something like a baseball swing. How about we move him over this way? So not interfere with our swimmer. And it's supposed to be smooth, fluid motion, right? The ball is right. Pole vaulting, but all I can think of is when they go up over. Although this looks like, what's the one where they have to jump over the pole? But maybe they're pretty much the same because they both have to get over some kind of a bar. Right? And they have to curve their bodies so that not a part of them touches. Right? Or something like some kind of mat. We're getting to the weird ones now. There's shot put, right? Or javelin throws. We have a person with this huge, heavy ball, and they're supposed to pitch that. And they're just... Right, they're just gonna heave this thing. It's like, So yeah. There's powerlifting, I guess, but the most tension is what? Around when they have the weight off the ground. And you wonder, can they get it up over their head? And there's this moment of, I don't know. I don't know, bro. And their legs come out for just a moment. See if they can get it up over their head. Right. Before they get it all the way, you know, it's like wait on wait. But if they manage to get it up over their head, that's the moment of like, yeah. I think they have to get their knees together as a stable base. But I don't quite know. How about a wrestling one? A wrestler. I had some friends that were wrestlers in high school. And they always have that low body. Right? Got your hands up, because I'm going to come for the takedown. Right? It's like, what you going to do? What you going to do? I'm going to take you down. That's what I'm going to do. Wrestling. Right. Maybe a little bit more. It's like, okay. If I get my hands on you, you're going down. You're going down. Yeah. That is just some brief gestures of sports. And again, what a great reference Of course, is the internet or ESPN, Sports Illustrated, any place that has them in motion, and try to find the place where it's like the most dramatic pose. And some of them look unreal. It's like I don't believe a person body can move that way, but they can, and they're doing it, and they're in mid sport. So yeah, that's a great way to practice sports. Let's take a look at the schedule. All right, so that was today, Thursday, and we did shapes, heads and hands, mannequin, anatomy, sculpture, and gesture. And we will be doing the same tomorrow. So, workout buddy, I hope you had a good set. And I will see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.